Okay, so check this out. This is a 1 minute 5-day chart, which means every one of these candlesticks represents a 1 minute period of time. The same would apply for the volume bars, okay? Now, today I picked up another 5,000 shares of Cool. I made about $1,000 on it last week. I'm looking to make another $1,000 to $3,000 on it, trading it moving forward. Probably safe to say somewhere around $1,000 to $2,000 will be my profit point if the trade works for me. Here is why I moved into Cool today. Basically, the stock has been holding the $3 range quite nicely. Again, we're looking at a 5-day period of time, 1 minute candlesticks. 297 has been, decent support. It has also held 3 pretty nicely. You can see it touches down here, it touches down here, it touches down here. So the stock started to move away today from that support range. I don't want to be left behind. I'd like to be in as close to $3 as possible, but I don't want to be in with the risk of it dropping to 275 through this 297 support. You can see it can get into the 280 range very easily and probably down to 275 fairly easily. So I've been waiting for another opportunity to get in. And I watch these things on my E-Trade platform. I've got the Pro. You can get that too. You know how to do it. It's free if you trade 30 times a quarter. Anyways, when you start to see volume like this fire, you become suspect of something up. There's not a huge short position in the stock, so you have to wonder what's going on. Who's buying? Is it a large amount of retail? Is it institutional? Is it a large institutional short cover? It's hard to say, but I like the chart action on this one. It's a decent setup for a continuation pattern, and this is why. Held the 3 nicely like I showed you. Now we're into 100 days. Each of these candlesticks represents a day. Each of these volume bars represents a day. The volume is building nicely. Okay, this is Friday. This is today, Tuesday. Take a look at the 1 minute here. All right, so this is what I'm looking at during the day. When this starts to fire, I see the increase in volume. I tried to buy my shares as it was creeping up right in through here around 308. Okay, the volume's starting to build. It's getting a little more active into the close. I suspect that it might be setting up for a gap and run the next day. Anyways, I pulled the trigger in the wrong account. It continues to build volume in through here. I can see it building, and I grab my shares right at 310 before it spikes, right there. The primary reason here, gang, is right there, 310 is the high of day. All right, it pulls back at the open, right down to 297. It moves up, and then it's kind of choppy, you know what I mean? Not a lot of consistent volume, but it gets up here to, 310 a couple of times, and you can see now very clearly where this starts to break 310. That's my strategic buy signal. Within minutes, I had it out in chat, actually within seconds, and within minutes I had it out in text and an email. Now, 2 to 3 cents a share, no big deal. But I'm going to keep my stop loss at 305 for a specific reason. If it pulls back and it doesn't get bullish, then it just doesn't have a reason to continue. It doesn't make it a bad trade. The trade is technically sound right here. Broke to the high a day. A lot of volume surged in. All right, whether that's institutional, short covering, retail, I don't know, but it's a lot of volume, okay? This is a lot more than some, small message board group can do. This is a lot of volume covering or buying for whatever reason, and I usually assume a lot of volume means that price could move in the future. So I position myself nicely. 312 in the post market. It's not doing a lot of activity in the post market, but what I am looking for short term is for it to get above, and let me pull up my stock chart over here on the other screen, COL. All right, so what I'm looking for is the MA50 is at 321. All right, so we're looking at resistance right here, and we're looking at resistance at 328. Right in through here, right? That's where the moving averages are. You also have some price action resistance at 316. And if you look at the bid, there's about 15,000 shares on there at 315, 316. That's not a ton for a stock like this. A stock like this can move through 20, 30,000 share blocks, no problem, provided there's a reason for it to move up. Now, there's a lot of technical opportunity on this trade. Very good chance that it can move back into the $4 range in the short term, which again is why I've been trading it quite frequently. They had great earnings, and I expect that people continue to buy into those earnings, at least running it up into the next earnings, which isn't for a while now. So it's not going to be an earnings play. Zynga's not going to be enough to lift this one. I think it's just a great technical opportunity. And again, they had good earnings here, and it sold off on the earnings. So I expect it to move back up into that. It's in a hot sector right now. Eventually, Zynga will play a catalyst again. It's not going to play a catalyst in this immediate trade right here, but I'd love to see this one in the 360 range. We're talking about, for me, 50 cents a share on 5,000 shares. That's a $2,500 payday. So I think it could easily get there. You can see the gap right here. So I think that'll probably be a good resistance area to sell at. But if it moves through there again, price-wise, there's not a lot of resistance until 453. So it could easily get into the low fours and trade there before it makes another move. I don't want to miss that move, so if it falls down, I'll sell it at 305 and wait to position myself again. But if it starts to move away for me, then I've picked the right entry. I'll scale into the trade by adding 2,500 share blocks until I have 10,000 shares. That'll give me about $30,000 worth of COOL, and that's usually where I want to be if the trade is moving up in a positive direction for me. So that's the technical analysis on COOL. Again, the moving averages are at 321 and 328, so resistance is just ahead, but I don't want to be a buyer once it breaks resistance because a lot of other people will buy on that, and that's a catalyst to move it to the 330 and 340 range very quickly, and that means I have to be watching for the exact minute where it does that, or the exact day, and I don't want to be, scouting this trade that closely. I like this support for a stop loss, and I'd like the opportunity for this one to move into that, 360, 380 range in the short term. Hopefully it does that for us. 25 cents to 50 cents per share, and I will probably add 2,500 shares if it starts to move up, and another 2,500 shares on the break of the 20 moving average at 328, and then I'll look to sell into strength. All right, that's the COOL technical analysis. I know a lot of you are in from down here, so this is looking good for you. But again, if it pulls back, I will stop out very quickly for a $250 loss. Take it easy, everybody, and I'll see you in chat tomorrow morning.